Welcome to Wrestler of the Week, Week 11. It pretty much works like this. If you are a professional wrestler and you made the most impact over the past 7 days, you will be named Wrestler of the Week. Every week, points will be tabulated, and at the end of the calendar year, whoever compiles the most points will be declared the male and female Wrestler of the Year. If you want to see what I use as criteria for Wrestler of the Week, be sure to check out my Week 1 episode. What a week it has been. We had multiple title defenses, multiple title changes, titles being vacated titles being won, one of the best heel turns of the year, and probably the best match of 2024. But let's get right into it with some honorable mentions for the women. Deonna Purrazzo had a busy week on AEW television as she defeated Mariah May on Dynamite, then did her best to even the odds when May tried to interfere in the AEW women's title match between Timeless Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa at AEW Dynasty to no avail. It does feel like Deonna is not done with Storm just yet, so let's see where this goes. Tatum Paxley defeated Thea Hale on NXT, and it is clear they are building towards a match between her and former NXT Women's Champ Lyra Valkyria. And here are the top 10 wrestlers of the week for the women. We start the countdown with the former AEW TBS Women's Champ Julia Hart, who gutted it out with an apparent injury to still perform to the best of her abilities to deliver a quality match with Willow Nightingale for the TBS Women's title at Dynasty. Even though she lost the title, I think she gained a lot of respect for doing her best to muscle through the match and give Willow the moment she needed so we can get on the Willow Mercedes Moné train. Julia Hart was a great TBS champ. Her character evolution has been mind-blowing, and her in-ring skills has only vastly improved with it. Here is hoping for a speedy recovery for Ms. Hart, but to put it bluntly, she's a beast. Come back better than ever. Julia Hart comes in at number 10. We have a pair of heel tag teams in WWE that slowly but surely has been gaining momentum at number 9, and those are the teams of Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. On Monday Night Raw, LeRae and Hartwell took out Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree as Indi seemed to succumb to the dark side that Candice has been embracing, while Green and Niven picked up a win against Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. What is WWE doing with these two teams? It is interesting because they are both heel teams, and the holders of the WWE Women's Tag titles, the Kabuki Warriors, are heels as well. So I am expecting at least one team to turn babyface. And if I was going to guess, I would put my money on Chelsea and Piper turning. Chelsea is way too entertaining to be a straight-up heel, and her chemistry with Piper Niven is great, and I believe the audience really reacts to that. I can see these teams meeting up in the future, with Candice and Indi attempting all manners of cheating, while Chelsea tries to complain about it to someone. I know some people aren't feeling these teams, but I really liked everyone involved, and anything to get more women on the show and have more storylines is great. I am excited to see what these two teams can do. Candice LeRae, Indi Hartwell, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven come in at number 9. We have Thunder Rosa from AEW at number 8, and she had a major week. First, having a crazy encounter with rival Timeless Toni Storm, even smudging makeup all over Storm's face. And at AEW Dynasty, Rosa gave it her all, but interference by Mariah May and 2 Storm Zeros later caused Rosa to lose via pinfall. I have a feeling Rosa may not be entirely done with Toni Storm, although it does feel like another challenger may be ready to step up soon. I love me some Thunder Rosa. She is one of the major bright spots for AEW, and she does everything she can in and out of the ring to sell her matches. I am 100% certain this isn't the last we hear from Rosa, especially in the title mix. Even though she came up short, Thunder Rosa lands at number 8. The tag team of Spitfire, the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champs, arrive at number 7 after successfully retaining their titles at TNA Rebellion, knocking off Decay in a very good match. The two teams have been trading the Knockouts tag titles back and forth, and it feels like we have a definitive end for this feud for now. I really like Spitfire. I think they're a great tag team that really lets loose in the ring, so I hope to see more of them involved in TNA television for some major angles. But it is nice to see Spitfire retain their titles, and that gets them on number 7 on the list for this week. At number 6 is Mika Iwata from Sendai, who at last week's Sendai Girls show defended her Sendai World title against a very aggressive Venny. Iwata has been holding on to the title since September of last year and has been racking up some nice wins to add to her title reign, and this is just another notch on her belt. Who will face Iwata next? We will see. But Mika Iwata lands at number 6. We have a trio of ladies who are feuding over the WWE Women's title, Women's Champ Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton, who land at number 5. On Friday Night SmackDown, Bayley and Naomi met for their one-on-one match for the title, an opportunity Naomi earned by defeating Stratton a week prior. But as I predicted, Stratton would not let this stand and interfered in the match and hit a world's prettiest moonsault on both Bayley and Naomi. Stratton is just nice. And SmackDown ended with Tiffy time on top. All three women in this feud can go, and Stratton, who was just called up not too long ago, absolutely looks like she belongs with veterans of the game. It is a testament to how amazing Stratton is already, and she has just started her career. We are seeing some pro wrestlers come out of nowhere to take over the scene. Logan Paul, Oba Femi, and now Tiffany Stratton is just another talent who was just wise beyond her years, and she is still growing. How will Naomi and Bayley respond to this heinous attack on SmackDown? We will find out soon, but I love this feud cooking. Tiffy time, Bayley, and Naomi are at number 5. Jordynne Grace, the current TNA Knockouts champ, comes in at number 4 after successfully defending her title against Steph DeLander at TNA Rebellion. It was a hard-hitting, back-and-forth match that saw the Good Hands and Khan interfere on DeLander's behalf, but PCO and the returning Sami Callihan came out to even the score, which enabled Grace to score the pinfall victory. Grace is now at 100 days as Knockouts champ, and it feels like her title reign is just starting. But we do have Ash by Elegance waiting in the background, perhaps prepping herself to step up in line for a shot at the champ. I love me some Jordynne Grace. She just has it. And when it is time for her to write the next chapter of her career, it is going to be something special. But we are in the present, and right now, Grace is a force of nature. Keep the title on her at all costs, TNA. Jordynne Grace comes in at number 4. AEW Women's Champ Timeless Toni Storm comes in at number 3, and she fought off a very game Thunder Rosa at AEW Dynasty to retain her women's title. Storm is just firing on all cylinders with her character, and her in-ring work has been nothing to sneeze at either. Mariah May tried to get involved before Deonna Purrazzo arrived to even the score. It took 2 Storm Zeros to put away Rosa, and now it feels like Storm is getting into a very nice groove as champ, and I am excited to see what is next for the Timeless one. Mercedes Moné is going after the TBS title, so who will step up to the plate for the world title? Only time will tell, but right now we have a reigning, defending, glorious, timeless champ in Timeless Toni Storm, who arrives at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the duo of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, who had an eventful week, not necessarily for all the right reasons. On Monday Night Raw, it was made official that Rhea Ripley had an elbow injury, and because of it, she must relinquish the WWE World Women's Championship. but she made a promise that whoever gains that title will pretty much be a transitional champ, as Ripley plans to destroy some bitches when she returns. This brought out Liv Morgan, who injured Ripley on her revenge tour last week, and we now have a hot feud for the picking with Liv and Rhea, similar to how CM Punk and Drew McIntyre are building their feud, even though there are injured parties involved. Raw will host a battle royal, and whoever wins will be named WWE World Women's Champ. Will Liv win the match and the title to complete her revenge tour? We will see, but get well, mommy. Come back and destroy shit the way we know you can. But for now, we got both Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan at number 2. And the female wrestler of the week for week 11 is Willow Nightingale, who on AEW Dynasty captured the AEW Women's TBS title from Julia Hart in seemingly short fashion, obviously because of Hart's injury, and now we have a date set between Willow and Mercedes Moné at AEW Double or Nothing that has felt like destiny ever since Willow beat Moné for the IWGP Women's title. Now the roles are reversed, as Willow is the champ and Moné is the challenger. Willow is my girl, and I've been so happy seeing her climb up the ranks in women's wrestling, and now she has a major marquee match set. I am excited, and in the immediate, I am just happy for Willow. Congrats to the new champ, who is our female wrestler of the week for week 11. And now some honorable mentions for the men. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Oleg Boltin, and Toru Yano won the finals of the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title tournament final match, defeating House of Torture, and they are the new Never Openweight 6-man tag team champs. DIY and the Street Profits both won number 1 contenders matches on Raw and SmackDown respectively, and now will face Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under for their tag titles. Javon Evans had another great showing on NXT, this time in a loss against NXT champ Ilya Dragunov. Bullet Club Gold defeated the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass to unite the Ring of Honor and AEW Trios titles at AEW Dynasty. Josh Alexander won a very good, hard-hitting last man standing match against Alex Hammerstone at TNA Rebellion. Chris Jericho, in a shocker, won the FTW title from Hook at AEW Dynasty. The Laredo Kid defeated Crazy Steve at TNA Rebellion to win the digital media title. And Mike Santana made a major surprise return to TNA Rebellion, defeating Steve Macklin in a good match. It is great seeing Santana back in TNA, where he found a lot of his success, and I am stoked to see what TNA does with him. And now the top 10 wrestlers of the week for the men. Kicking off the countdown is the current AEW International Champ Roderick Strong, who on AEW Dynasty defeated Kyle O'Reilly to defend his title. We got a good back and forth, but Strong hit End of Heartache for the pin, and we are just at the start of Strong's title reign, and I've said all I ask is that Strong keeps Orange Cassidy's tradition of being at the very least a fighting champ, and Strong has been that so far, wrestling often since he's won the title. I don't know what the end game is here. Perhaps Wardlow eventually turns and he goes for the title. Who knows? But Strong is enjoying a strong reign so far and comes in at number 10. We have Trick Williams at number 9, and he won a major cage match against Carmelo Hayes, which definitively put an end to that feud on NXT, as Hayes is expected to be called up in the WWE draft. These two went out there and tried to murder each other, but Trick was able to take down his main foe, and now he has a date with Ilya Dragunov for the NXT title, and if he loses, Trick is out of NXT. Sure, that may telegraph some things, but Trick Williams' rise in NXT is nothing short of outstanding, and I am ready to see him hit the next phase of his career running. Whoop that Trick indeed. Trick Williams is number 9 on the list. AJ Styles is at number 8 for beating LA Knight on Friday Night SmackDown to become the official number 1 contender and first challenger for Cody Rhodes' newly won WWE title. Yes, I am calling it what the commentators are calling it. Styles and Knight now share a win each against each other, and it will be interesting to see a revised visit of that feud if one of them ever holds gold in the future. But AJ Styles, still one of the best in the world, is a great first challenger for Cody as someone who is truly versatile and can work with anyone and is pretty much bulletproof at this stage of his career, so even taking a loss wouldn't even hurt him. But AJ Styles is still dangerous, and I expect him and Cody to have a great scrap for the title. AJ Styles, number 1 contender to the WWE title, comes in at number 8. We have a couple of wrestlers in Mustafa Ali and Kazuchika Okada who both successfully defended their TNA X Division and AEW Continental titles respectively this past weekend. At TNA Rebellion, Ali bested Jake Something to retain his title, while Okada took down Pac to keep his. Both Ali and Okada carry themselves like stars, and when they appear on television, they definitely carry a larger-than-life vibe to them. I believe allowing them to stay far from WWE for now, so they have the freedom to truly discover how high their ceiling is, may be what is best for them, and I do believe that each of their stock is rising and continues to rise, and it will only be a matter of time before both wear world title gold of their respective promotions. This week, Mustafa Ali and Kazuchika Okada are number 7. We have new AEW Tag Team Champions in the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, who land at the halfway mark on the list along with scapegoat Jack Perry. At AEW Dynasty, the Bucks locked horns with FTR in the finals of the tag tournament in a ladder match for the vacant tag titles, and it was a very good chaotic match that saw things escalate when Jack Perry, who I predicted would show, appeared and helped the EVPs take down FTR. And now the two teams each have a couple wins against each other, and at some point we will need to have the 5th match to break that tie. Since Sting retired and he and Darby Allin relinquished the tag titles, this seemed like the next logical step in having the power-mad corporate wrestlers weasel their way into some gold, and now it's time to see how the Bucks and Perry do with their heelish tendencies with some more gold added to the elite. Funny enough, Perry was cheered upon his appearance. Follow-up is key, but I am interested in where we go from here. Is Perry next to capture gold, and what title does he have his sights on? We have the makings of a detestable heel faction being born, and if they can now all move on from the All-In incident, we may have something. But for now, the Young Bucks, the new AEW Tag Team Champs, and Jack Perry land at number 6. Broken Matt Hardy is back, and he appears on the list at number 5. Hardy made a surprise appearance at the end of TNA Rebellion, attacking Moose with a twist of fate after Moose's successful world title defense against Nick Nemeth, and he made his intentions known that he will be gunning for the TNA world title. Broken Matt Hardy in TNA feels like a return to form, as Hardy found his next best success outside WWE in TNA and the Broken character. What style of cinematic wrestling anarchy will Hardy bring to TNA? It's only a matter of time before we find out. Hardy still has some name value, and adding him to the TNA roster only bolsters their credibility. Very happy to see Matt Hardy back. He's always been one of my faves, way back from the Virgin 1.0 days, so I'm happy to give him some shine here. Matt Hardy is at number 5 on the list. The number 4 entry belongs to Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, who participated in one of the major storylines this week. On Monday Night Raw, Gable and Zayn met for their one-on-one match for Zayn's Intercontinental title, which was a great back and forth match that saw Sami Zayn emerge victorious, and that was pretty much it for Chad Gable, as his obsession with capturing the Intercontinental title caused him to snap and hit a surprise German on Sami right in front of his wife in a great visual. Gable pretty much wrecked Sami Zayn's ankle against the ring post, and we got a major heel turn and a brand new direction for Chad Gable. And to say I've been waiting for serious Chad Gable for a while is an understatement. Shorty G feels like eons ago, and Gable being taken seriously as a credible threat and this new chapter in the Zayn-Gable storyline has turned up the heat. I am excited to see what both of these men have to offer as this feud escalates, but Chad Gable and Sami Zayn arrive on the countdown at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, who may have had the match of the year at AEW Dynasty. We had Don Callis and Nigel McGuinness on commentary for the match, and to say this match melted faces is an understatement. Tiger suplexes, cattle mutilation, running knees, and styles clashes. It took a nasty tiger driver and a hidden blade for the 3 count for Will Ospreay, and yeah, these guys are really good at this pro wrestling thing. I know AEW gets slack for just putting together dream matches with no context or story, but sometimes when we get a match like this, it's hard to complain. Now we have an interesting injury angle with Danielson, and I'm sure Ospreay showing concern will not fly with Callis or the Don Callis family. But god damn, what a match! It is my current match of the year, and it lands Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, 2 of the best in the world, at number 3. At number 2, we have the System from TNA, Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers, with Alicia Edwards in tow, who had a very busy and productive week. First on TNA Impact, Edwards and Myers would pick up a major feather in their cap by defeating the Motor City Machine Guns in what may be their final match in TNA. Then on TNA Rebellion, the System would continue to dominate, with Edwards and Myers once again successfully defending their titles against a very game Speedball Mountain, but Moose would also defeat Nick Nemeth to hold on to his TNA World Heavyweight title, and now that Matt Hardy has made his intentions known, it will be interesting to see where we go from here and what kind of mind games Hardy will play to rattle this faction. But for the most part, they still hold all the gold in TNA, and that brings the System at number 2. And the male wrestler of the week for week 11 is the brand new AEW World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland, who finally got his one-on-one match with Samoa Joe and bested him with a double stomp off the top rope for the victory. This is Swerve's first world title run, and this feels very special, as with this coronation, AEW may be going in a new, fresh direction. Swerve is a star. He's always carried himself like one, and I will take this to my dying day that WWE dropped the ball with this guy big time. Swerve can talk, can wrestle, and can act as an ambassador for the company as champion. Now is the time for key follow-up. Who will Swerve's next challengers be? What is Swerve willing to do to hold on to that title? Who is willing to do whatever it takes to try to take the title away from him? We have so many questions and exciting new directions the AEW main event scene can go in, and I am wondering if the eventual endgame will be Swerve versus Ospreay, perhaps at All In? We will see. But congratulations to Swerve Strickland, the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion and the Week 11 Wrestler of the Week for the men. And here are the weekly rankings for the men and the women. Last week was an insane week, and I already have to get prepared for this week, as tonight a brand new women's champ is going to be crowned, and we have to deal with all of the fallout from that. Also, Fallout is a fucking great show. What did you think of my picks for Wrestler of the Week? Do you agree or disagree? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.